Attention. Well, it's one for the money, two for the show, three to get ready now.
1, 2, 3.
Back out to Allen. His three-pointer.
Triple Threat! Hi, all you cool cats and kittens out there. This is Shawnee O with Triple Threat Podcast, and I like to introduce my main man, the sportsman. That's Morse. What's going on, Morse?
What's up, man?
Welcome to another week of this fun, amazing stuff we got going on. And the other one, the most likely of us three to actually own a big cat. Sheehy, the Irishman. Sheehy.
I agree with that, actually.
Yeah, it's good. I checked with Tiffany. I checked with Ari. I haven't seen $3,000 to $5,000 come out of your bank accounts lately.
Mm-hmm.
I know you
they
guys
seem
have,
affordable.
I know you guys haven't started processing big cat fees. If you haven't noticed by now, today's episode is going to be all about Netflix's new original series. Not really that new, a couple weeks old, but people are probably getting around to it now. Tiger King. Holy cow, Sheehy. It's what happens when you mix Oklahoma with Tampa, with murder, pleasure, some fire, and 200 big cats. Is really what it is.
I think drugs might be mixed in there somewhere, but yeah, no, keep going.
Drugs. A lot of amputated body parts, too, to throw into the mix.
So I don't know about you guys, but in 2016, 2017, I mean, I didn't know this was like happening. Like, did anyone like know about this?
I'm really glad you brought that up because Ari, I was watching with my wife, Ari, she said she remembers this stuff going through the news. I'm really glad you brought it up.
My wife said, Tiff said she remembered
I don't remember this at all.
Tiff remembered from watching the John Oliver show on HBO. I always forget the name of it, but he was featured on that at one point. And I remember during the political season, like him coming up and doing all that political stuff that he did, which is just watching that was like weird flashbacks. I was like reliving it, but like for real at that point. So
I don't remember any of this stuff at all.
So here's how we're gonna do today. I have about 7 questions that I came up with over the course of the show that honestly I just wanted to ask you guys.
Did you cap yourself? Because I still have questions.
Let's keep with these 7 to stay on time for the show, and then we will have a special edition. I'm not gonna say what it is yet because I want you guys to be surprised. We have a special edition something coming at the end of the program.
But he's gonna have a tiger.
We're gonna do 1 minute. We're gonna do a 1 minute intro. Before we get there, I want to say a huge happy birthday to a Carter Morse. Happy birthday, Carter Morse. Very upset that given the times we weren't able to celebrate his first birthday. I still dressed up as Captain America, not on my Mount Rushmore. Makes my ass look good in the outfit, but not on my Mount Rushmore, superhero Mount Rushmore. But happy birthday to Carter Morse before we get started.
Thank you. Yeah, I think you scarred him for life, but thank you.
Wouldn't that be America's ass then?
It's John.
Well,
I'm a dual citizen.
Canada's ass.
Yeah. So I'm going to give you guys a minute to start out. Now, this minute can be dedicated to Tiger King, or just a full synopsis of your thoughts on Tiger King, or it could be a recap of last week's episode because I know you've had some time to think about Sheehy in particular, the bad decisions you made last week. So, Morse, we're going to kick it to you. 1 minute to start the show. Go ahead.
All right, thanks. Appreciate the birthday shout out. It's nice of you. I'm not going to recap Tiger King in a minute. That's ridiculous. But so you talked about like relatively new and stuff. So I saw it for the first time last week. Full transparency. I think Sheehy was on the same time frame as well. It's just crazy how like the world today. Granted, we're all stuck inside, so I think this stuff's more popular now than ever. But it's just like the natural like marketing and advertising of these shows from like memes and jokes and just conversation is crazy. Because I'd see these things for like a few days, few weeks, and be like, "What the hell is this?" And then finally find it on Netflix. It's one of those things where I feel like I had to watch it just because everyone else around me did.
Sure.
I'm certainly glad I did. It was like a roller coaster of a week, but it was an interesting miniseries to say the least.
Yeah, I'm really happy to kind of come off that, and I'll go into my minute right now. I'm really happy that we're sharing shows on this because I just got into Ozark, and I got to tell you guys,
we got to get into that again.
I've watched 5 episodes,
So good.
5 episodes, but I watched the Tiger King 7 episodes over like the course of 2-3 days. Like once you get in there, you get addicted. 3 episodes into Tiger King that I'll put out here for my minute is literally 3 episodes in. I really didn't understand what the difference between what Carol Baskins was doing and what Doc Antle was doing and what Joe Exotic was doing. Carol Baskins had cages with cats in them too, but she essentially marketed. She had a different message as to what she was doing, and she made Joe look out to be a douche, which he was, but which he is. But you know, it's a little hypocritical to me that you were kind of shitting on what this person was doing when you're virtually doing the same thing. You're just putting a more glossier message on it. I guess we'll get into this more with the questions, but Sheehy.
Carol fucking Baskins, man. I feel like the show perfectly summarized for me how 2020 has felt so far. It felt like something that almost like you're watching a train wreck, but like a train wreck that accelerates itself. I don't know if that's physically possible, but it is with this show. I've never met so many, like virtually, so many dishonest, self-absorbed people in one singular show, and they're all real. That was my biggest takeaway from it, is that these people exist, which explains a lot about some of the issues we're having in this country right now.
Yeah.
And the fact that, like, to your point, Sean, what is Carol doing different? I don't understand what, like.
Well.
Okay. Good point. Good point. So let's start here. Let's start with this question that I got here. It might be a big. I mean, why are you starting with this, Sean? Should Jeff Lowe be in jail right now? Should Jeff Lowe be in jail? Sheehy, I'm going to kick it to you first. Go.
It's a big two thumbs up for me. I don't understand how that guy. He's clearly taking money from people and swindling them and setting them up for. Well, in Joe's case, it seems like he really set him up to take the fall for a lot of things. And there's other pending cases against him. I was getting updates on that. Like at the end of actually there might be another episode coming, but that last episode where they're giving updates about how there's pending cases against him and there may be other things coming up bigger than what happened with Joe. Apparently that, I don't know if they're taking their time or trying to aggregate more information, but apparently in my mind, the answer is yes. Like, go. He should be gone. He's a dirtbag.
Morse?
Yeah, I agree with Sheehy. As far as jail goes, I'm trying to like remember who was like linked to the different like actual crimes. You know what I mean? Jeff Lowe was like a con artist.
He was a con.
That's how he kind of got in there. He framed Joe for whatever ended up actually getting him in jail. The murder for hire part. But even outside of that stuff, even outside of the animal stuff, first of all, none of these people were good to animals. I think that's pretty like, main characters. But for Joe, he was just like a douchebag. Like, you know what I mean? Outside of like legality, remember the things like kind of like the stuff with his wife and like remember the search for his nanny towards the end? Yeah. Like trying to find like the hottest nanny he could bring on. Like smuggling tigers in suitcases and shit like that. It was just not a good guy. Not my favorite.
Kind of a tough question because he did go to jail. So he kind of like,
for what?
For domestic abuse and stuff.
Before all this. Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
So, but should he be in jail? I don't know the answer to the question because Morse and I, one of our favorite movies, Black Mass. It's if the teacher didn't catch you in the schoolyard pushing the other kid, you're not going to go to jail, right?
Well, that's why I was asking what the actual legalities are.
He hasn't been officially caught for anything, but I there might have been money laundering that he was linked to outside of the stuff that he set up Joe for. Yeah. Other than that, I haven't heard much. So
remember the handyman he brought in, who eventually was going to be the killer? Wasn't there stuff about him not getting paid and like?
Was that the guy in the jacuzzi interview? Because that knew the show was
real treat.
He was another. I honestly didn't think I could watch a show that could get any weirder. And the next thing I know, watch this guy basically clothed in a
Yeah.
an interview. And
But yeah, that
like-
guy, 2 thumbs down.
People went
Big douche.
to the zoo and were like surrounded by these people. Like, could you guys imagine just like going to a zoo with your family and being like seeing these people in like real life and then seeing this on TV? Like crazy.
This is just a different part of the country.
it makes me like our
point.
family was going to be
Good
going
point.
to San Diego at the end of April. Obviously not now, but we're going to go to the San Diego Zoo, and it makes me wonder like how often do these incidents happen? Like there was within 2 episodes, there's a person missing a limb. Joe 3 episodes later gets like his foot chewed on. Should I not be going to the zoo? It makes me question it a little bit, but
No, dude, this is different.
I know.
But I totally understand you. Remember, to Sean's point, you're being greeted by Joe Exotic. He's like the face of the company. I can picture these guys maybe behind the scenes, but I don't know.
Should Jeff Lowe be in jail?
Fuck it. Sure.
Do that. He should be. Next
according
question.
to I don't know,
That's coming. That's
Oh,
good. That's good.
I got so
That's
many
coming.
questions.
So, all right. So coming up next, Joe Exotic. He invited his I guess mother-in-law, Travis's mother, to his 6th husband's wedding. And simply, from obviously you heard from her, but just to get her in a picture with them. My question to you is this: do you guys think that Joe Exotic really loved any of his husbands?
No, of course not. That's pretty clear. No, he was a very. I'll jump into this one. I mean, again, obviously, it sounds like we're going down the road with. Obviously, there's going to be spoilers in this episode, which is fine. But
Sure.
No, that, like I said, there's just so many different like angles to look at. So Joe's marriage to 2 guys, both very young, was a whole nother one.
Straight guys, by the way, very straight guys.
How great was that line? Well, you ain't that straight, are you? But no, actually, I think Travis was probably one of the most normal guys on the show.
Sure.
Normal, very loose term in this whole
Travis
universe.
Travis
But he got roped into some bad stuff. But yeah, the thing with his mom was so bizarre. Even like the stuff going back. Remember, I know that's Carol's family. Never mind, we'll save that for later. But no, because remember he got married like 2 weeks later or a month later to another 18-year-old kid. I think he's just one of those people who needs. I don't know.
Sheehy?
Yeah.
I mean he had how many husbands?
2 at once.
He had 2
And
before the
another
show. He had like 2 before the show. Seriously,
I don't remember that. I didn't know that.
No, he had like this show obviously took place 2017. He had like a husband back in like the 80s or the 90s. I swear to God, like when he first like, started coming up, there was
not
relationships.
disagreeing.
Yeah. Gee, sorry.
No, I mean that's my answer. Whatever you just said is my answer. It's like I don't. No, the answer is no. Clear.
It just goes back to what I said last time. It's just a different part of the country where I just think where most people who are probably listening to this, it's just so, you know what I mean? I bet there were people down there who saw that and were like, oh shit, like that's Joe Exotic from whatever. I used to go there all the time. Or like, I don't see why this is such a big story. This is just everyday life. Right. To us, these are like characters. And I saw memes going around. You have probably too, where it's like, Hollywood wouldn't even be able to write this like if they tried. And I couldn't agree more. Like some of the stuff happened and I was just like, you can't make this stuff up. Like these people, these characters, they're literally characters.
It would be like a Coen Brothers movie.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be bizarre.
You know what's interesting, Morse, about you saying that about Hollywood not being able to write this stuff. It almost reminds me of in the late '90s / early 2000s what they tried to do with reality television. Then reality television was taken over by the producers, and what producers like the Bachelor's all scripted, But that's essentially what this is real life. What you're right.
Yeah, it's because everything was recorded. Imagine if none of the stuff was recorded, you'd never know. Like it's crazy how they
wouldn't believe 90% of that.
Absolutely not. It'd be a book. It'd be a fiction book.
Yeah.
Right. It's like it'd be on the shelf with Harry Potter. Like it's the same difference.
So speaking about recording, about 4 or 5 episodes in, we find out that a fire was set ablaze to Joe's
I forgot about that
video production studio. Also, the poor alligator pit. A lot of lot of criticism and a lot of speculation, really, about who started this fire. Was it Joe himself? Was it the producer of the show? Was it someone Carol Baskin sent in? Sheehy, Irishman, as someone who's probably set a couple fires in their day, being affiliated with the Irish mob. Wow, did I just say that? Sorry. Hashtag Irishman. What are your thoughts on who set the fire and why?
I honestly, I mean, I lean towards Joe because he was so upset about not having rights to his own story and show and all that. It just, the whole thing where they were trying to pin it on the producer, it just seemed odd. The way the producer react to it, and they see, like, they try to pin it on him and use that footage of him walking through the park as evidence that he said it, but the timing of it and the way where he was walking at the pace he was doing it, like, he just, you feel like you would be walking with a little more action to your step if you were actually guilty on it. So I was leaning towards Joe doing it just because I think they had that interview of talking to his lawyer where the lawyer was like, yeah, if he doesn't have any other backups.
Yep.
So that's what I lean towards.
Yeah, it was also, why would the producer have done it? That really kind of took me for a turn. Like, why would the producer have done it? That's his footage. Why would he want to, that's his gold mine. He spent a lot of time getting that footage, and that's essentially what the producer would have used to have been famous. Why would you want to destroy that?
Well, I remember he said specifically, he's like, he's like, this is my retirement plan. Like, why would I lose all I have? He dedicated whatever.
He wasn't wrong. I mean, look what he's doing on Netflix.
I think the idea, was that Carol Baskins paid him. I think the idea was that Carol Baskins got to him. Yeah. But
if I'm just thinking back to the show, the way they like did the episode, they went in like a sequence. And at first I thought it was the producer. I just remember the way they put it out there. But to Sheehy's point, 100%. The meeting with the lawyer, which was filmed like from a cell phone in his pocket, which I don't know how they get away with that. And then what else kind of leans me towards Joe is, remember at the end he was shooting like the promo videos like afterwards, and he's like, and he was like, oh, cut, like that one wasn't good enough. Like it was just so, like, you know what I mean? It was just so many things. I'm just trying to remember the motive though for Joe wanted to burn it. Why? Because he knew that was the only copies producer, of the tapes. And he didn't have control over it.
It was the only records of the show or the recordings, and the producer owned the rights to everything.
That's right.
The producer didn't have any other backups offsite or anywhere else. And when the lawyer and him were talking about it, the lawyer essentially was like, well, then.
Yeah. I remember that. Exactly. Because I remember there's another incident, and we'll probably get into it later, when he tried to like get rid of evidence in a case too. I just can't keep track of all this shit. Like who's like doing what to like get rid of what. But
I have an Excel spreadsheet to track all this. Like I was having trouble following the entire shit.
And then to Sheehy's point to the camera, if they didn't say on the show that we think this is the producer, I would have never guessed that was him. Like that didn't make, that was a very strong argument, I don't think. So I don't know. What did you say, Sean? What do you think?
I think I'm not sure that you can say that it was. Oh man,
because real quick, the other shitty thing is animals were killed too. The alligators.
The alligators.
So that just goes all the way back to the main point of caring about the animals. It's like, what the fuck?
I gotta tell you, my first thought on it was that there was really nothing. No one really said it. It just happened. Like something happened. It was
no way.
Maybe there was a butt that was thrown and something. I don't know. I mean, but besides that, I don't know. Why would Joe do this? I can't say that it was
because he wanted control.
I think that there's. I don't think that we know the individual who started this fire. I do think it was animal rights activists or somebody in the Carol Baskins camp.
Maybe
thought to someone and started the fire that way. Maybe a staffer or somebody who was in the production. I don't know.
There's a Billy Joel song somewhere in this. I don't know.
I was just gonna say we need to get that. We need to get the rights. Call Billy Joel. That was just bizarre.
So speaking about video production and Joe's music career, do you guys think that was really Joe singing in those music videos?
No.
It didn't sound anything like him.
No.
The words were too well spoken.
Exactly. He took the words right out of my mouth. I was literally going to say he wasn't a very well-spoken individual. I think in his campaign videos that was Joe, but I don't think in the music videos. But when was this? I'm trying to get a timestamp on this. This was like mid-2010,
2016, right? 2017. No, 2017.
Really? All this?
Well,
okay.
The music
Because
videos
this went on
probably
for like 10 years, I thought.
well, so hold on. So all like the legal stuff went down in 2017. So you're probably right. It probably went down like 20. I think 2014 is when some of the timestamps were. 2014,
Yeah.
2015.
So I don't know if that was like when we had like auto tune and stuff like that, but I'm not gonna lie.
I definitely looked at the videos on YouTube, and it was definitely like 2014, 2015 time area.
Some of those, all their little productions were pretty. Well, I don't know. Like we say they were kind of corny and stupid looking, but think about it. Look at like the brain power behind that organization. I thought that was pretty well put together for probably a combined 10 brain cells between
I
three people in charge.
Understand.
Some like his like Facebook, YouTube channel. He was saying he was getting millions and millions of followers down there. Like those were hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, again, different part of. I don't get it. But I mean, this guy did also run for office, so you know what? I mean,
I can't believe we're saying that.
So let's talk.
Imagine the final showdown of Donald Trump versus Jim Exotic for the Republican Party.
Because he originally said he was going to run for president, and then the next thing I know, it's like the governor race. Like,
yeah, I think he thought governor was a little more doable, and tried that.
Maybe he thought they were the same thing. I don't know.
So James Garretson, he's a cross between Chucky and
and the owner of the Raiders.
Yeah, it's good. James Garretson, this guy, you know, he's a criminal in my opinion, and he also, you know, not a guy you really can trust. The word rat snitch kind of comes to us. You know, the question I guess I have here is, was the jet ski scene necessary? Why would they put that in there? Sheehy, go.
Entertainment.
Since it seems to be the screensaver on your phone. You're
right. It's going to be the screensaver. I can't stop looking at it. It's like, it's amazing. I don't know. It was oddly placed in the middle of the ending of the movie.
I don't even remember the context.
Why? Where is he? Why is he on a jet ski? Why does he have that awkward looking life preserver on that he barely fits into? I'm so confused by the whole thing.
Why is this guy in the show?
I just the part where he lifts his sunglasses up just briefly to look at you, and
with Eye of the Tiger playing in the background.
No thanks, I'm good.
Yeah, he was kind of all over the place, that character. Like he came in somewhat late. He was introduced as like a strip club owner, right? His little tagline was just "businessman" every time they showed his name. I remember.
Local businessman. and then did you see his shop? Talk about a shop that needs some online web presence, because it's retail brick and mortar. Because
it's like a dollar store with animals.
It had a black sign, like nothing on it. I mean, it was just I didn't even know what the store was called.
He was interesting. He had really his story went all over the place.
They were talking about SEO with Joe at one point, like, he just jumped on the search engine train, and what is happening? Do they even know what they're talking about right now?
They crushed it. They were coming up number one.
Show up number one for search, sure.
But no, what's his name? James Garretson. If you're asking just specifically about that jet ski scene, it was awesome. I'm glad they put it in. Can't hurt. But I think that was just strictly entertainment. They had been like, fuck it. Like, we're at this point. Let's get this guy in a jet ski and film it.
All right.
Or unless he paid him off. He probably gave him like, he's like, if you give me 10 grand, can you film me on this jet ski? Try and help me get laid or something.
I think it was, yeah. It's a new world.
Cool.
I think that was what they were trying to depict with that. But all right, before we get into the special, go ahead, Sheehy.
I was just gonna say,
please.
Anybody ever remember the Michael Jackson video from probably late '80s, early '90s, where there was like the twins on the scooters, the clay animation thing?
Oh yeah.
That's all I can think of when I see him on the jet ski, and I can't stop laughing. Like, just flip up your glasses a little bit. But okay, sorry, I digress. Keep going.
So before we get into the Shawnee O wants to know question of the week, which very excited to get to that one to end the show with, because I'm sure we'll have a couple back and forths with that. We're gonna go to a very special segment of the show, in loving memory of Soapy, the Cambodian prince. This is a Tiger King, Joe Exotic, Tiger King. Would you rather that we'll do with you two? So it's pretty simple. I'm going to give you a would you rather this or would you rather that.
I get it.
It's an either or. Tiger King edition, and we're gonna play between you two. So this is gonna be fun. So we're
I
gonna
feel
start.
like I need to go get a handle of something for this, but okay.
We're gonna start with Sheehy, and then we're gonna go to Morse. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Would you rather manage Joe Exotic's music career or manage his political career?
God.
I would have to. Wow.
Are we talking political as in governor of like Oklahoma?
Whatever
President of
his
the United
political
States.
aspirations, whatever his political
Dan,
aspirations.
doesn't matter. He didn't know. I'd probably say his political career, just to, I don't know, watch his engagement, his free turkey dinners.
I disagree.
Dinners that he does. I'm not musically inclined, Dan. What do you want me to do? I'm not.
Fair, but my
Morse?
argument would be I feel like I have a lot better chance of success in his music career than in his political career. I mean,
my chances.
You find a
of
niche market who likes that
would be
stuff,
less with the political stuff. I feel like I would laugh every time we'd start filming a music video. Like my chances of laughing would be less with the political stuff. I can at least like hide off in a corner.
Yeah. So Sean, are you saying like as in like we grew up there and we're doing it, or like you literally I watched Tiger King and you fly me in as my 31-year-old self and I'm just I'm in charge of his music career.
You're in charge of his music career right now.
Can I give a reassessment for a second? If I base the decision off of watching the guy that managed his politics and his campaign go through his progression of what he was and went through, like I would probably lean towards a music career because he didn't look good at the end of that.
No.
I would do the music career just because at the end of the day, I would probably base this off of the what the fuck did he just say? Like action, like if I was out at a political rally and I had to listen to him and I'd be like, wow, did you really say that? Versus the music career where I can pre and post production type manipulate what goes out and all that jazz.
Well,
like
here's
I
the
would
other
much
thing.
rather.
Yeah, here's something that kind of scares me. Remember, you're getting involved with like Joe Exotic and these people. So just the first time, like, hey, if Joe says this is the song I want to record, this is how I do it, no problem. Do it. I'm not giving any. Do whatever you want, or I'm gonna end up friggin'.
Yeah, you guys are right. I was just jamming out. I saw a Tiger by Joe Exotic.
All right, number. I seriously, Here Kitty Kitty is like my go to bed playlist. So you know what?
I mean, they're not terrible.
They're not terrible. All right, number 2. Dan Morse. We're gonna bring this one to you first. Would you rather let Carol Baskins dress you?
I'm listening.
Sorry, guys. Would you rather let Carol Baskins dress you every day, or have to ride with Carol in her golf cart everywhere you go?
Oh.
Okay, so 2 things come to mind.
Yeah.
When you say ride with Carol in her golf cart, are you talking about under the reason being like, because I think I'm going to get shot every day by like an assassin?
Everywhere you go, you have to be with Carol in her golf cart. Just like every day, she will.
But now that I've seen the show, and now that I know that multiple people are trying to kill her, and they literally laid out on the show exactly how to do it.
Yeah, you could.
I mean, at least it wasn't well documented.
Yeah, sure.
So when you say dressed, do you mean like that guy on the beach with like the chain on his neck?
Yes, that's what I'm.
Yeah, I'll do that. Fuck it. I would just be too paranoid. I'd be too paranoid riding with her every day. Like she dresses me and then that's it. I don't see her till the next morning when I get dressed again. Yeah, I'll do that. No problem, Carol. And then I just go to work like I always would.
Sean, my question back to your question.
This is like a two-way question sheet. So would you rather?
Can I do both?
It's in loving memory.
I want to do both. Just give me all Carol Baskins all day.
Oh,
I would
probably go with the golf cart.
Personally, I'd rather go with the golf cart as well. I'm with you there,
It's a suicide wish.
You know,
they're aiming for her. I'll just steer after.
That's true.
Now, question number 3: would you rather get matching tattoos with John Finley? That's
his lover.
Joe Exotic's, or have to wear matching outfits with Doc Antle's crew?
I'm trying to think. What do you mean his crew?
I don't think anybody wants to see me in Doc Antle's
You mean like
All-
just wives?
All the wives,
No,
they
the-
all have
yeah,
their matching
they're all-
outfits.
custom outfits.
Oh, that's right. Why? What was the motivation for John Finley to not wear a shirt that entire time? How can that be a better look than one?
He
without?
does have
That's a
Hey,
producer.
no, he has no, but seriously, no, he has his nipples pierced. People who have their nipples pierced, they want to flaunt it.
Okay. Well, anyway.
Right?
Can you
so was the
ask
question,
a
have
question
his?
about this show that way? Like, what?
Yeah, that's fair.
Why wouldn't they be doing the entire thing without the
Yeah.
shirt?
He was very comfortable, just laying back, like just, yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nipples, rings.
So I would have to have his tattoos, is what you're saying?
You have to get rid of matching tattoos.
No. Property of Joe, except or whatever.
That's the first one that popped in mind. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't pulled up right here.
line.
Yeah, I'm good. So it's either that or get dressed up like one of Doc Ankle's women.
Ankle's women, yeah.
Jesus Christ, that's a tough one.
But
I guess I would. Well, I guess I would do the Doc Ankle. I mean, at least I can take them off. They're not permanent.
Yeah.
I can find a solution out of this
Sheehy.
this thing I got myself into.
I'd rather do the clothes. I'd rather.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's
That guy was weird.
if it's the property one above the belt line, I'm probably going with that one.
But he got it. He got the cover up too, of like
Yeah.
a bull, which is pretty
Last-
badass.
Last questions here. Would you rather befriend in a best friend way, like us three? Would you rather? And you can't be friends with both of them. Would you rather be best friends with John Finley or Saf? Sheehy, I will kick
that's
this
easy.
to you. I will kick this to you first. Go.
I guess I would lean towards Finley. He's got stories.
That blows my mind. I'd pick Saf in a heartbeat. Morse.
Can I ask you a question? This just blew my mind. Saf, male or female?
Female?
It's a girl.
I said.
Yeah.
Not according to the internet.
What?
Complex.com, 12 Tiger King characters ranked best to worst. 12 Saf's voted the best, by the way.
Whoa,
he
go through
referred
this.
to it as a him the whole time.
Good. Huh.
Really?
Hold on. Even after getting his arm ripped off by a tiger, blah, blah, blah. Well, the rest of the characters were a continuous mess who fuck off. Saf was just chilling as he took it all in day by day. You have to admire his level of chill, especially in trying times. No way. That's got to be an error.
I don't.
Mind-blowing, right? That should be the
this
next
is
poll
the show that
question.
just
I wish I
keeps
didn't say
giving.
that.
It just keeps on giving. I can't wait for the next.
I'm just glad you guys were so straightforward saying female, because I was like, was I missing something the whole show?
No,
I really thought
I would
that.
chill with him or her, whatever it is. This is hilarious though. It's a quick Saf story. Me and Ari, my wife, were watching it, and it's about halfway into the first episode, and Ari's like, "Hey, is she missing a hand?" And I was like, "I don't know. Like, I'm trying to pay attention." And then they show it again, and it was like just barely out of sight. I couldn't quite see it. And then it was the first like just straight on interview, and it's like, whoa. And then they show her fucking dipping in the water,
Honestly,
or whatever happened.
I didn't notice it. And then
Me
it
neither.
happened. I
Till
was
someone
like,
brought it
wait a
up.
minute. This
Yeah.
person's been on.
It's kind of a
like,
spoiler
this person's
alert.
been on the screen before. Like, I didn't notice this.
Yeah. And then she also mentioned that guy with the
The legs.
the political correct term, prosthetic legs.
Without the legs, I guess.
I was
There
like,
are-
are those
all right.
tattoos? or
Just so you
those-
know, there's entire
things?
articles on about how Tiger King's Saf on being misgendered and where he is
Oh,
now,
God.
portraying
What
them
is
as portraying them on the Netflix show as a transgender, but not like it's.
Oh, I think
Okay.
he is
Did they
Yeah.
mention that?
gender. Yeah.
I don't remember that.
I mean, it
Hey,
doesn't-
No,
it
I
doesn't matter
sprinkle it in the
ultimately. I
mix.
mean, he, she doesn't matter. It's
throw it in there.
He's the most honest person on the entire show, in my opinion.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely the most chill one.
Most
Well,
like.
I mean, if I had to choose, I need stories. I need someone to tell me stories. That's
That's true.
why I went.
But
the
I
other-
just feel like there'd be a lot of danger you're getting looped into.
Mm,
I don't know.
Speaking of stories, let's wrap this up here. Speaking of stories, Shawnee O wants to know, poll question of the week. Did Carol Baskins kill her husband, the late Don Lewis? There is a lot of speculation in the show. Spoiler alert. You know, this guy, please remember, gentlemen, that this guy was
He's a
married.
baller.
He was married.
what,
And
was it like her fourth husband?
Carol
Third-
Baskins
up
was
there.
walking on the side of the road. This guy picked her up, and all of a sudden they're married now. He's a millionaire, whatever. And
Yep.
and he supposedly takes his van, goes to an airstrip, supposedly goes down to Costa Rica or wherever, and then goes missing. Sheehy, let's start with you. Did Carol Baskins kill her husband?
Well, they were talking about when Joe's foot almost got amputated by a tiger. The tiger that was chewing on his foot, and she seemed to have a lot of information about how you would properly do that using, I think she said sardine something.
Yeah, sardine oil or something like that.
Yeah. So my answer is a strong yes. Like, why do you even know? Have you tested that?
Okay,
I don't
I'm gonna
understand
come back. I'm gonna come back. Sheehy, I'll come back to you for that one. I mean, these people are around big cats their entire life. You know, they need to know what's going to make them tick, what's going to make them work. You know, that's really not going to, just because she knows that big cats like sardines.
Admitted that she started her younger years with imaginary white cats. She made up cats because she didn't have friends.
Bro, she's batshit. She's batshit.
Sure.
I don't. I mean, I'm not. I was liking Joe 3 episodes in before more than I was liking her.
Yep.
Of course.
But do we feel like she killed her husband?
I think so too. I really don't.
I mean,
I just don't understand the argument.
I lean towards yes, but there's no hard evidence. I mean, according to what's been shown.
Did OJ kill her? Did OJ kill Nicole?
Oh, God.
If the glove don't fit, you must fit.
Right. Well, what's interesting now, I'm sure you guys have seen that they're reopening the case, right? Just because.
I don't know.
Yeah. Either there's a rumor or something, but seriously, you're the guy working this case back, whatever, 7-8 years ago, and then you watch this documentary. You're not like, actually, that makes sense, or hey, maybe we didn't look at this hard enough or something. But yeah, I think she did. I'm just trying to think back to like some of the actual.
Well, it seemed to me like they didn't really investigate. They didn't investigate it very well.
I would not want to be involved. I just wouldn't want anything to do with these people.
Sean, O.J. Simpson's convinced Carol Baskins killed her husband. So
I saw that too.
I'm obviously.
Oh, but this is what I meant to say earlier. Now that we're on this point, the other little like one of the other side stories is, remember like the interview with what's her husband's name? Don something.
Don Lewis.
Don Lewis's like wife and daughters.
Yeah.
Just talking about like financially how that's I think the biggest case for her killing him. Like setting up all the wills and all this stuff and making sure she gets all the money. Like her other family, his family got screwed out of it. But
next to Saf, honestly, the only individual I actually thought was really credible in this entire thing was actually the lawyer. The lawyer, Don Lewis's lawyer guy. Like he seemed to me to be pretty. And the guy, the lawyer of Don Lewis, the guy who was behind the desk. Yep. He
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Things he didn't really know the answers, and he was pretty good about it.
Yeah. How about that other guy? I think he was like it was part of this episode. I think he was like an investigator or something. But he had that house with those weird like porcelain like masks, like those like half masks, and like those porcelain like Siamese cats. Like it's just like everyone they interview, it's just like, what the fuck? Like, who are these people? Everyone is so like out there. And I loved it. I couldn't get enough.
It's the South. I mean, and what's great, what's crazy to me is how many videos actually are out there of Joe Exotic and things he's done. I mean, check them out on YouTube. We are coming up on time here. I'd like to so safe to say that we all feel like we can't answer the question, but we all have an inclining that Carol Baskins did in fact kill her husband.
Believe it.
To the big cats.
I don't know about that part of it, but
I mean, it just gets, the more you look up online, the more it gets crazy. I can't believe I'm saying this out loud, but it gets crazier because she hired a private investigator. The police were doing their own investigation. And then at one point, Don himself mentioned a possible move to Costa Rica, but nothing was found there either. So there's a potential that he just like tried to vanish himself. Like you can't, to Dan's point earlier, you can't write this stuff.
Yeah,
crazy. It's crazy.
So Sheehy, would you rather rather buy a big cat and kill me and feed him to your big cat, or remove remove Captain America from your superhero Mount Rushmore?
Oh, feed Sean.
I'll go with the Tigers all day.
Brutal. All right.
No, with that being said, I would say to wrap up Carol, I think I don't know where the maybe the feeding to the tiger part might be a little far fetched, but she definitely had there was foul play somewhere with this murder. Everything else just made too much sense. I think feeding her to the cats was just too good not to talk about and venture into.
I think she had a hand in his murder.
100%. She didn't really seem too upset, by the way, either, that he died.
She didn't. No,
ever.
She wasn't. Yeah, she like
just
was
like
okay.
Joe with the kid who died.
You'd think you'd get a little emotional about that. No, nothing at all. And I think that Kenny guy, that guy who was like Don Lewis's like handyman or whatever, I think they may have paid him off to do it. I don't know.
Probably.
Sheehy, final minute. All you, buddy.
Yeah, I dove into this not knowing what to expect. Tiff had got into it the week prior. I had seen today, like what Dan was saying, a bunch of people posting about it on social and whatnot. Whew. It scares me that there's this real. I don't know. Yeah, I think it explains a lot about our mentality and the different polar opposites across this country about decision making, and when we're in times of need like we are right now, how people approach stuff. I mean, I didn't realize life could be that crazy. Times 1,000.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah. It's insane.
I learned a lot.
Yeah. It sure made me feel better.
Morse, final minute.
Yeah. So I would say, I mean, we could probably go on for another 2 hours. There's probably so much stuff we forgot to talk about.
I was worried that we wouldn't have enough to talk about.
Yeah, right. I would give a quick shout out as far as talking about characters, because this all goes back to the animals, right? And I don't think any of these people were really great with it. They didn't mean well by the animals. It's a business. There was millions of dollars being moved around between, the park, all the lawyer fees, all these hitman fees. There's crazy money involved. But a couple of characters that were really cool was, I don't even know his name, but Eric, the guy who looks like Kurt Cobain without any teeth, right? That guy was that guy was pretty cool.
That guy was cool.
He actually genuinely cared. Yep. And then you said earlier, Josh Dial, the political man, the kid who ran, literally a kid.
God, I felt so bad for him.
That kid got roped. I was talking to Sean the other day on the phone. It was just like, remember he had a line. He's like, yeah, I was trying to get into politics, and this guy offered me my dream job. I've never heard of him, but I had to take it. And I was like, oh, dude. And then remember the whole thing with Travis, what happened in front of
seeing that on camera
kid too. That was almost a little, that seems like something you really can't put on Netflix. I was really surprised they showed that. You know what I mean? You didn't really see anything, but it's like, that's probably the closest. I was telling Ari, I was like, that's probably the closest thing I've seen to you know what I mean? Like a real, that's not a scripted movie. That was a real film of someone.
I know.
Doing the deed, but
it's heavy stuff.
Yeah.
Not an ideal work environment, I guess. To say the least.
It gives you good perspective on your job, right?
Yeah. Jeez. Yeah.
I think in closing on my part here, what I would say is, if the last election, politics aside, if the last election wasn't a tell that this country is extremely diverse and not necessarily united.
Very polite way of saying that.
This documentary certainly shows you that this country is pretty diverse.
I think they should show this at schools.
I thought it was very entertaining.
Class.
I thought this was a very entertaining series. I'm quite shocked that this actually happens. I worry for humanity. I worry for animals in general, because you're right. I mean, they're essentially profiteering off of causes which they don't really care. I do feel, I will disagree with you. I think that Joe Exotic, and I think a lot of these people, when they first started out, did. I mean, I can't.
Some of the early footage of it,
but I really do feel like they did care for animals.
Oh yeah, I agree.
And
then all the crime was not really with the animals. I mean, it just got way past the animals. The animals were the least part of it. You know what I mean?
I thought out of all of them, Joe was the one that I always, even in the last episode when Tiff was rewatching it with me, I was kind of defending him a little bit, saying he still seems like he cares, and they're trying to get him in trouble even more because he euthanized 4 or 5 cats, but he admitted to it. I mean, if we're going after him for that, then why aren't we going after the people that do that to horses that race, that they have to do that when they get injured or something? It's the same.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's the same thing to a certain extent, and I think we shouldn't do that either. But I just the level at which they went after him, and then like, here's all these other people with these parks and these other things, and Carol Baskins has a park. She's not even paying her employees.
Yeah.
They're volunteers.
And then there's this whole thing with, again, coming back full circle, Jeff Lowe. I mean, these people are still out there. There's people still out there profiting off this. Crazy. Guys, thank you. I'm sure we could go for 2 hours, but to keep it together here.
I need to take a break from Tiger King.
Dan Morse, I was on the phone literally an hour ago with the one and only cousin Cammy. Cousin Cammy is itching. He started just talking sports with me. Cam Newton, where's he gonna go? He started talking to me about Jared Stidham, and I found myself just quoting you. Cousin Cammy is itching to get on the show.
Cool.
We have friends. We got Jad, who just started his own podcast on Spotify. We're gonna get on here. We have a lot coming up here. People, stay healthy. Please wash your hands. Obey social distancing rules, because guess what? A lot of us want to be out celebrating birthdays and having fun this summer. So let's do what we need to do now to get out there. That's Sheehy the Irishman. That's Morse the Sportsman. I'm Shawnee O. See all you cool cats and kitties later. That's three. that's three. 3threadpodcast.com. We're on Facebook. We're on Spotify. We're on YouTube, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Sean, you have to say that every week from this point forward.
I don't think I'm gonna
Free exotic jet.
Bye, guys. Hi, all you cool cats and kittens out there.
Does Sean know we can't hear him?
Yes, he knows.
Okay. It looks like he's recording the show.
That's fine.
Hi, all you cool cats and kittens out there. Sean.
Sorry.